Hello, Leo, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of October 19th through the 25th. And during that time, we have a few different moon phases. First, we have the waning crescent, which is a really good time for surrender, rest, and healing, a time to fully let go and just get ready for the new cycle ahead, which comes in for us on the new moon, which is on the 21st and 22nd. And of course, the new moon is a fresh start, good time for new beginnings, start new projects, make new decisions, that sort of thing. And then the waxing crescent is a time of heightened senses when it's time to buckle down and start to really dig in and work on those new things that you're starting. So please pay attention to those moon energies as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Leo. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading: a new start is coming. All right, let's see what the Leo Collective has going on for this week. As I'm shuffling, well, if I can get my cards here, as I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you notice the world around you when it comes to synchronicity. So this could be things like animals that you don't see every day, maybe number patterns that might come up, just little signs and messages that could come in the form of a song. Maybe as you're kind of cruising through your stations in your car, like I do, I'll hear a little blip of a thing and think it was something that I needed to hear, or a full song that comes on, but it could be a conversation that you overhear. There are lots of different ways. It could be a book that falls into your possession at the bookstore. So there's just synchronicities are out there, and once you learn how to read those signs and see those things, it's like a whole language that's going on, and it's just kind of the universe speaking to you, a little, offering you little breadcrumbs on your unique path. So my fun reminder this week is that you just pay attention to those synchronicities. If you need to take note of them, write them in your spiritual journal. They may not make sense, as a one-off, but as they add up, you can kind of start to see a message coming through. So that is my advice to you this week. All right, now let's get into this reading here. Leo, October 19th through the 25th. A new start is coming. We've got cards coming out and a new start. This is why I love tarot. You can't, like, really, a new start is coming. First card that pops out is the Fool. So we've got that's your present energy. You've got some sort of new start. You're feeling refreshed and ready to go. Of course, we're here at the new moon. It's a great time for the Fool card. I've seen this in one or two of the other readings that I've already done for this week. So there we go. New beginnings for you. We'll see what kind of journey, we'll see if the cards tell us what you might be working on. Your current situation, also the Magician. Wow. Very powerful together, the Fool and the Magician. A new start, and you're getting to choose your element here. Here's the Magician. What do you want to do? What is this new start? How do you want to move forward? So something has happened here where you've kind of had a little, maybe a refresher. You might be coming off of vacation or something. You're just very clear-headed, and and you're moving forward. So there we go. 0 and 1, right through the major arcana. At the root of your situation is the Knight of Pentacles. So you might be thinking of something, some kind of movement on the job front or the financial front. And it could be a new start. It could be a new job offering or something that comes in for you. That may be the way in which you choose. The Magician, the Magician, I like to say, likes to ask you, you can choose any of the elements on my table here. Do you want to, how do you want to change your life right now? Do you want to change it in the way of the Pentacles, material things, your job, finances, that sort of thing, emotionally with the Cup, air energy with that sword, or fire energy with that wand, which, that's the Magician saying, what do you want to do right now? So Knight of Pentacles is kind of at the root of your problem, or not problem, the root of your situation. It could be that you have recently, had some change there, or you're thinking about some change, and that's where you're wanting to make some changes. There is in the Pentacle realm. In your recent past is feeling a little celebratory here with the Six of Wands. So it looks like you're coming off of a good energy, something where, you've got something to celebrate. You've had, some success somewhere, and you're coming off of that and wanting to move and just kind of build on what you're doing, a new start, that's awesome too. On what's on your mind is the Knight of Cups. So lots of knights. I've been seeing lots of royalty in these readings this week also. So lots of knights. This is a lot of action. So this could be financial action, job action, but also emotional action. There could be something, where you're moving forward. This could be moving forward in maybe your romantic life. Maybe you meet somebody. If you're in a relationship, maybe you're kind of renewing things or just kind of, getting a little, taking things to the next step. If you've been together for a long time, you might just kind of be rejuvenating things. So it just depends on where you are in that part of your life. What is just ahead of you this week is the Seven of Pentacles. So that is our card. Let me readjust this camera here. The seven is about kind of, where you've planted seeds, you're kind of, and this is kind of in the harvesting phase, right? So that's ahead of you where, and I mean, that's really kind of a luxury there that you've worked so hard that you're kind of like, you have the choice to, kind of sit back and wait for things to kind of come in. It tells me that you've been planting good seeds. And this could be not only just in the financial realm, but also other areas of your life that you've got a really good foundation, good seeds that have been planted, and you're kind of waiting for some of those things to come to fruition, which is awesome. That's a great energy to be in. Your advice is the Tower card. So, and to me, when I see this card in this position, you know, that tells me that it's okay to have a disruption and that you cause. This doesn't mean that it's like an outward thing. And like I said, if this is kind of in the job realm, it's okay to look for a new job. You may want to disrupt the job that you have. This, just because it's a tower doesn't mean it has to be a negative thing. It's usually something a little bit abrupt. It is the card of maybe like having a test. But I think if it's something in your advice position, I feel like it's something where you're making the decision to go, okay, I've been going in this direction. Let me disrupt this and kind of change direction, change route. This could be, like I said, in a job change, or, if you're in some sort of passion project, making some big change there. And it is a disruption, but it's almost like a self-induced disruption. It's something that you decide on. So it's like controlled chaos, right? It's not chaos that's just coming in and disrupting your life. You're like, nah, I'm going to do this thing. It might be disruptive. It may take me a couple of weeks to get my bearings on the change, but I'm going to do it anyway. What is beyond your control this week is the Five of Pentacles. So lots of pentacles in this reading too. So a lot of this having to do with something in your material realm, but beyond your control, to kind of feel a little bit like an outsider. But again, I feel like this is maybe, I'm really reading job change for a lot of you. And of course, you would feel like an outsider if you're going to cause this disruption in your life, make a change. Yeah, you are the outsider. You're showing up to a place where you don't know anyone. It's all new to you. You're changing jobs or changing position within your job, that sort of thing, where you will feel like an outsider for a little while because you're going to kind of be learning new ropes, new job, that sort of thing. So, what is your secret desire or what you're trying to avoid? Is the Two of Wands. So you're either avoiding thinking about your future, or it is your secret desire to really make decisions based upon that you're thinking, okay, I'm doing okay here, but I could probably do better somewhere else. So this will be your big question of the week is it your secret desire to kind of make these moves towards towards a better future? Or are you wanting to just kind of stay where you are? And either one is really fine. Different Leos will answer that in different ways. Of course, your overall on this one is a new start is coming. So I tend to believe for many of you, that energy will be that it is a new start and you're doing it in a good way because you're thinking about your future and the next step that needs to take there. What is in your outcome position here is the Ace of Swords, which is the big mental breakthrough, an aha moment. I feel like I also had the same card for the outcome, maybe with Aries. So if you're a cross watcher and you have an Aries in your life, you might want to check out their reading as well, only because you had the same kind of wrap up card here with the outcome. And for no other reason, maybe you have a friend that's an Aries and you're kind of having a meeting of the minds there but it looks like you have some sort of breakthrough and some sort of like aha moment where you're going to maybe you're choosing the swords here, maybe you're going to communicate something before this, while you're on this new journey, you're going to communicate better. But look at these knights and the swords here. I mean, I feel like you have so many different options when it comes to the elements. And it could be that you're making changes with a lot of different elements at once, right? I mean, we're kind of surrounded by, we've got a sword here, we've got some wands, pentacles, we've got one card of cups there. So, you might just be in a place where you're like, I'm going to make some changes. And one thing leads to another. It's kind of a domino effect. So let's see what is hidden from you at the bottom of the deck is the Three of Cups, which is kind of a celebration. So it's almost like you're not there yet. Like, let's get this work done. Let's trudge through whatever these changes are you're going to make. And this celebration, we might see this appear maybe next week or the week after that, a couple weeks down the road where you're kind of celebrating. But right now, you're just really focused on this new start, moving down this new path with kind of blinders on, but you're ready to go and you're ready to get things done with this new path that you're going to take. All right, let's see what the Soul Oracle deck has to say for your situation here, Leo. Soul Oracle deck, Leo, October 19th through the 25th. Leo, October 19th through the 25th. And your card that comes up says claim your art. So whatever that might mean to you, whatever art it is that you're claiming, and maybe that's something that you're moving forward on. If there's something that you're, I think claim your art can be either in the artistic realm or, you could be a person that's really good at business, and that is really considered what your art is, right? So whatever it is that you're artful and really good and talented at, you need to claim that and help that move you forward in these changes that you're making. Let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care this week, Leo. Self-care, Leo, October 19th through the 25th. All right, this card here, and the card is reassess. You have the right to change your mind. And I feel like that's probably what I mean with this tower right here. That, you might be trudging along and thinking, I'm doing okay. This is great. I planted my seeds. I did it. And then you have this kind of controlled disruption. Like I said, if it's maybe you're going to change jobs, you're just putting on the brakes and then boom, off to a new situation, right? Or, taking a promotion within the job that you're in, and I'm kind of getting that feeling. It could be anything. Of course, tarot templates over a lot of different things, and I'm using work as an example, but this really could be with anything. It's almost like something that you're involved with, be it relationship work, side project, something that you have, some passion project that you're involved with. It's like you put the brakes on and kind of do a 180 and say, okay, we've been doing it this way, and that's great, but we're going to try this way and see if we can have more success or see if things work out better. So again, controlled disruption is what I'm getting. All right, Leo, thank you so much for being here. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life. I love this reading. I love the Fool covered with the Magician. That's a lot of power about new starts and new changes. And it's really at the behest of you. You have the control to decide what changes you want to make. We all do. But you really are being encouraged to do that this week. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. And if you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below. Let me know if any of this is relating to you. Let me know what your controlled change was. What that controlled disruption. Did you make a big switch? Did you, have a big change this week? I'd be very curious to know about that. Also, if you like my reading style, of course, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel. And most importantly, Leo, it'll help you find me next week, where you can come back and we can see if this story continues or if there's a completely new energy here for you next week. So thanks so much, Leo. Good luck with this, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.